Day 51.
Business as usual.
With an asterisk.
And I'm Mike.
And I'm Mary.
That's why we call each other Mike and Mary.
Oh, brother. Thanks for joining us.
Are you having fun with these? Because we sure are.
Yeah, we started Monday, May 4th, with a theme. May the force be with you. But then we twisted it a little bit and said, may the force stay with you, meaning the things that we've learned, the accommodations we've made in our business, in our lives. What if we carried those forward and made our future business better based on what we've taken from this pandemic situation?
Things we've been forced to do.
That's right. So today's
Adapt,
theme...
improvise, overcome.
Right.
We've all been forced to do that. So going forward, what's most likely to happen to, let's say, supply and demand? You know, that's a law that's always worked in the real estate market, right?
Yes.
So when this is all over and things go back to, quote, normal.
Wait, now, when this is over?
Who knows? We don't know. You don't either how long this is going to last.
Well,
that's why we're talking about what have we been forced to do that we're going to keep doing, that makes sense to keep doing.
Right.
And that we knew beforehand, but maybe forgot.
And that matters not what your market is or what your timing is. You know,
Indeed.
Minnesota's governor just extended quarantine, 4 days before we were supposed to be out of it. Another 2 weeks. You know, when will this end? We keep getting extensions. Some states are opened up. Montana has restaurants open. And Ohio is starting to open up.
Both of them. In Montana.
Yeah, well, it's small towns, right? But wherever your market is, the markets are not all going to be the same. And that's why it's always weird when National Association of Realtors says, 10% overall. Well, wait a minute. Some markets will have 20%. Some markets will have 0 or negative 10. So that's what an average is made up of. So we want to talk about things that are no matter where you are.
Yeah, no matter what.
Right, no matter what.
And supply and demand being almost a constant force. We don't know what the supply of inventory is going to be.
It was bad before.
We certainly don't know what the demand from buyers is going to be.
There were multiple offers before COVID.
But if history repeats itself, and it sort of has for like the last couple centuries, we're going to have a fairly robust market because spring has been pent up and really has wanted to spring, but it hasn't sprung yet. So there's going to be a lot of pent up demand. And if that's true, and I think it is, more buyers are going to be chasing fewer listings. So what do we already know?
But wait a minute. It might not be that way in Houston.
It might not.
Right. Like 250,000 people just got laid off in Houston. You know, look at the overall scheme. We really don't know. If it might be that that all of a sudden there's more inventory than ever and fewer buyers. It doesn't matter. There are certain truths. Well, I mean, it matters.
Well, we're getting back to no matter what.
Yeah.
Yes. And no matter what listings are.
The name of the
game.
And
you already
right.
knew that. In fact, how many times have you and I heard, if I'd have seen this coming, I'd have gotten a whole bunch more listings.
Yeah.
So we're going to double down. No, we're going to triple down on building inventory, starting every Monday.
We need to do that.
Work on bringing in saleable listings first.
We had a little contest we tried to challenge you with. 5 conversations a day for the rest of the pandemic or until June 1st, the day of our virtual Master Sales Academy. And we had some takers on that. You know who you are because you get coffee with Floyd before the event. So that's pretty cool.
Now, how many of those people you've been calling or that you know and you haven't been calling, how many of them have been thinking during this quarantine, this house is a little too small? How many of them have been thinking, we need at least 1 home office, maybe even 2?
Right.
How many have been thinking, we're too close to our neighbors. We need more space. People are thinking a little bit differently. What was the routine before? Get up, go to work, leave the house and go to work.
Right.
And then come home. And maybe on weekends you hang around the house a little bit more. But now Everybody's hanging around the house 24/7, and they're looking around the house thinking, man, I can't wait to get out of this place.
I think there's some people that did projects to prepare their house for sale. Would you agree? I mean, I can list a few people that I know are students that are doing that.
But man, has there ever been a sea change in the way people are thinking about their house?
Yes.
And you can tap into that.
Right.
Only although if you have conversations. So that's why we're saying keep going out there and having those conversations.
And of course, you were guided on what to say. So you start by expressing caring. You ask how the quarantine is going and how homeschooling is going and how the kids are. And then you say, guess what's happened in my business, right? And then you share your numbers. And then it's the who do you know who thing. You know, if you can get yourself to ask, who do you know who might, and then use one of those categories, have just discovered that their house isn't big enough. Who do you know who might be working from home going forward now, whereas before they didn't need a home office and now they need extra room? Who do you know who might have discovered that they weren't meant to be together forever?
Oh, they're not on speaking terms any longer.
Oh, you have the upper level, I have the lower level. How long is that going to work?
So what did Floyd tell us about why listings are the name of the game? Let's go back to the beginning, the source.
Okay.
Back to what we know is timeless and no matter what it applies.
All right.
Who's in control of their time better? People working 24/7 with buyers or people contributing to the inventory?
Listers.
Right. Who's in more control of the transaction, the listing agent or the selling
Always
agent?
the listing agent.
Exactly. And who's leveraging all the other members of their multiple listing board, getting them to work for them, showing their listings?
You mean who always gets paid on the transaction?
That's right.
That would be the listing agent. But hold on, let me add one. Who makes a ton of money no matter what's happening in the market if they carry the right number of inventory? You can't control the market, but you can control your inventory. So if the market should slow down, if people all retreat into their shell and credit gets tighter and there's fewer buyers, you better carry more inventory to make sure you get the number of closings you need to hit your goal. And if, on the other hand, there's the kink in the hose, and that's the right theory,
Who knows?
well, you better pick up some inventory so that everything is going to sell and you make your goal. It's time for us to hit our 2020 goal, and the way we do that is carrying inventory. Where does inventory come from?
We haven't
Conversations.
even talked about the double dip possibilities.
Oh, well, that's
Or
true.
we haven't even talked about how listings sell when you're on vacation sitting on a beach with little umbrellas in your drinks.
Or how the best buyer is the one that just sold their house last night,
my gosh,
non-contingent.
There's so many reasons why listings are the name of the game, isn't there?
Yes.
So,
Go get
are you
some.
going to double down on listings? This is the week to start, okay? And we'll be with you here through the pandemic tomorrow on day 52.